Welcome to week 3 of the Spring Gridiron. I'm Brian Kells, along with...
And I'm Todd DeNoyer.
Yes, guys, and it's a spring break special. This week, there's not a lot of games. I think they only had 3 active fields, right?
Yeah, it was a very light week, and it's hard because everybody goes on spring break, they make plans, and so here you're coaching. If you've got a game and you've only got half your team, it's difficult.
Yeah, it can be a challenge. I know we ran into that a couple times over the years where we'd have kids out and gone. So a lot of times we would try and request our bye to be this week, and I think a lot of teams did that.
Yeah, this is the first time that I've remembered that so many teams got a spring break. And it's nice because now it's pushing the pedal to the metal for the rest of the season. I mean, it's either you get it together here this coming week, get your seating set for the playoffs, or it's go home.
And a lot of these teams will have to play double headers now too, which it can be a challenge. That's one of the unique things in 8-man football is you get to play a double header, and they have an hour, sometimes 2-hour break in between, but that's a pretty challenging thing to do. That's for sure. I know we struggle with that, but sometimes though that double header, you have the advantage if you're playing a team that didn't only play one game that day because they show up, they're cold, your guys are kind of warm, they've already played a game, nerves are gone.
Right.
So cool experience.
We're going to bring you the 10U highlights this week, and just as a reminder, you're going to want to go to the links on our YouTube channel and vote for your top play in the 10U. We had some great voting over the last couple of weeks. A lot of kids, a lot of parents, a lot of coaches are going to the link and voting for their best play. And we haven't forgot about the winners. We're going to be giving out the T-shirts as soon as they arrive. And we're going to show you one of the T-shirts here later in the show.
Yeah, I can't wait to see that T-shirt. So let's check out those 10U highlights.
Those are some great highlights out of the 10U. Some tremendous athletes playing this spring. Our next segment, we would like to talk about officials. Ooh. And, they catch a lot of bad press, and you have to wonder, why would anyone want to be an official? Well, if you love the game and you want to be a part of it, there's no closer action than being an official out on the field.
So you're a guy that has to love being yelled at, right? And
right.
Being told you're wrong every play. But at the same time, it is a pretty cool thing that they do. And we couldn't have the game if it wasn't for those officials.
Exactly. I had the opportunity to officiate football for 5 years. I did basketball for almost 10 years. And I really enjoyed being out there and sometimes coaching kids. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you're disrespectful to an official, it will always, and hear me, it will always work against you. So if you get your emotions all worked up and you start yelling at an official and you're disrespectful, it will always work against you.
Yeah, I know I personally yelled at you a few times, and it has worked against me, But I'm glad you got your glasses on, finally. After all those years of missed calls, you got your glasses.
Exactly. So we caught up with one of the officials, and the unique opportunity the officials have during 8-on-8, especially with the little kids, less players on the field, is that they can do some coaching themselves. So when the kids are lining up wrong or just do something that they're not aware of that's wrong, they can pull them aside and teach them on the field, which is great for the game of football, especially youth football. Take a look at the interview with one of the officials down in Okeechobee.
Rob Pringle, been officiating 15 years.
Tell me, what's the difference between the 8-man and 11-man from an officiating perspective?
A lot more faster. Love the parents, love the kids. You get real, you don't have so many players on the field, you can actually pour into the kids, and show them about sportsmanship, show them how to play the game correctly. Versus 11 men, you got a lot of kids out there, and you got a lot of ground to cover, and you don't get a chance to actually talk to them. You probably get a once in a while during the dead ball to talk to them, but 8 man, I believe that you get a chance to look at the technique and the skill of the player.
It's tough being an official, but like I said before, we really appreciate what they do, and it's great to see them out there working and helping the kids out and improving, because that's what spring football is all about.
Exactly.
All right, guys, well, let's check out the 8U highlights. Don't forget, make sure you go online and vote for your favorite highlight. Here are your highlights.
Those are some tremendous athletes at the 8U level. Those kids look big. Either they're getting bigger or I'm getting older. I'm not sure which one. But we're going to take you right into the 6U because we had a short week. The 6U highlights, once again, blow your mind that these kids are tossing the ball with with ease and downfield.
And the ball's as big as their head. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a big ball.
Yeah. So take a look at the 6U highlights.
Those are some great 6U highlights. And like I said, it's amazing to see those little guys moving around. But we also know it now as a coach, as a guy who's been out there this time of the year, like we said earlier, is it. We've got to make sure we're getting ready for the postseason because essentially in 8-man, the regular season is all practice to be ready for that postseason. But it does set you up for seeding, and it's so important right now. This time, everyone's getting to practice. Our team's really starting to gel. We're really fine-tuning our offense and really dialing in our defense. Just such an important time, and we hope those players out there understand that.
Yeah, it's not always the players that most of them can't drive, and so moms and dads, do everything that you can to get your kids to practice when there is a practice, because if you practice 2 days a week, 3 days a week at the most, it's going to pay dividends. If you want to be competitive in the playoffs, you've got to get your kids to practice. Now, I wanted to reveal the T-shirt that the winners are going to be getting, and you'll notice this is very fashionable, and the shirt can be worn for weddings. It can be worn for that first date. You're maybe an 8U going on your first date. You want to show them the cue. And this is fashionable. We had these designed for us by a guy in Paris, and we wanted to make sure that it was fashionable, but it was also casual. And it's difficult to bring those two concepts together. And so this is what the winners will get when you go and vote for the best play of the week at each level.
I'm fortunate. I actually have one of those shirts, and I had to work a long time to get it. So you guys are just getting it by getting your play voted for. So congratulations to those that win, and don't forget to make sure you go on and email, right?
Yeah,
You have
email.
you have to email the go ahead.
Shirt size.
Yep.
And I need an address of where to mail that shirt. We'll confirm with your coach that you were actually that player. We had a few guys say, hey, I won, and they didn't give us an address. We had some guys that said they won, gave us an address when they didn't win. And so we have to confirm those things and make sure that we're giving out these shirts to the right people.
Yeah, and you can see the email address. We'll put right down here, and make sure you email Todd at Quick Cut, which is this guy right here. Not me. I don't have an email for Quick Cut, so email Todd so you can claim your shirt. All right, so we're going to be moving on here, right? We're going to check out the 14U highlights. 14U, a great division, like we said, lots of competition, lots of teams. And this is the age group where some of the guys are in high school and some of them are in 8th grade. And so it's kind of cool. You got kids that played high school ball. They're out there competing to get better in the offseason. And so you really get some high-level football during the 14U. So check out these highlights.
Tremendous talent at the 14U level. This league is loaded with talent, and it shows as we try to pick those top 5 plays each week. What we'd like to talk about next is the value of video. And I don't want to be the guy talking about video because of Quick Cut, but you coached, and there are a lot of coaches out there, especially at the youth level, that don't use video to help their kids get better. How did you use video as a high school coach and then as a youth coach?
Well, there's a bunch of different reasons to use video. First of all, if you're not watching what your players are doing and teaching them what they're doing wrong, then you got to really, you're not going to improve a lot, right? I mean, when kids get on the film and they can see exactly where they're not, where they missed a block, maybe they stepped wrong, maybe their head was down, things like that, they can see it. Then they have to believe it. But when you're just telling them stuff over and over again, they can't see it. Sometimes they just don't believe you. So that's the beauty of film. And honestly, when we were in high school, my coach high school, we filmed practice every day as well. And, so we wanted to make sure that people understood, the kids knew what they were doing right and what they were doing wrong. Not just what they're doing wrong, though. We could really, emphasize the great things that they were doing as well. So that's the beauty of film for practice and for games for the kids. But for coaches, besides seeing what our kids are doing, we can see, obviously, scout-wise, what we're playing. We get the tendencies, we can go in and see what are they going to do on third down. Are they going to be 80% run, 70% run? You can use the analytics and really go into details and run spreadsheets and reports and really find out really detailed information about what the coaches tend to do. So that way you're really well prepared. Okay, it's third down. This coach likes to be in this formation, and they're going to do this most of the time. And it can really dial you in and give you that leg up on your opponent, especially if your opponent's not using film.
As a challenge, when you're a youth coach, you've got a limited amount of time.
Yeah.
You don't get the video until, we tell people Sunday afternoon at like noon, but we try to get it to them sooner. And so you've got a limited amount of time to get ready to watch your game film and then to watch your scout games. And I go as far as telling coaches, you cannot reach your potential as a team if you're not looking at video. Talent will only take you so far. And anybody that's got less talent but watching game film, can beat you on any given day.
Sure. Well, I mean, game film will help you outcoach your opponent, right? You know, you can put your kids in the best position possible at any given moment in the game because you're going to be prepared, and your kids are prepared. You know, it's like taking a test. If you go take a math test and you only study somewhat, you're only going to do so well, you know. But if you study, you're going to go in there and ace it, and that's what film allows you to do.
I have to give a shout out to Mike Kenny from Fleming Island. He's one of the guys that just loves video and is calling me, hey, when's the video up? Hey, when can I get this? When can I get that? And because he knows the value of putting time into video and even watching it with his kids. Kids are going to watch video for entertainment purposes until they're taught how to watch video a different way that they can improve from. And so coaches, just don't tell your kids to go watch film on their own. As soon as you start bringing up things and teach them how to use video, then it becomes a benefit for them, and they're looking at it for a completely different reason.
Yeah, we used to spend a lot of time, especially at the beginning of the season, with our guys and showing them what we want them to look for when they're watching film. Because like you said, a lot of the guys will put on, they'll look for the cool play that they made. They're not looking for the mistakes that they made. They just want to see what they did that was cool or some sort of highlight. And that's what their focus point is. They don't want to look what they're doing wrong. But when you start to teach them how to look for what they did wrong or how to look what their opponent's doing to them, what's the guy going to do that lines up across from me, that can be a huge advantage for you. And 8-man's a great place to teach it because it is spring. And yes, I mean, obviously we're trying to win championships in 8-man, but you're really trying to get ready for the fall as well. And that's what film can really help you with.
Our next segment is our final segment. We would like to show you the 12U highlights. The 12U of all the levels is just stacked. We'll have 11U right after that, though. So 12U is just stacked. I mean, there's some kids on those teams. I look at them, I'm like, is this a varsity football team? Big kids at the 12U level. Take a look at the highlights. Don't forget to vote.
Those are some great 12U highlights. I always look forward to seeing that age group. And speaking of another age group, it's fun to watch. It's 11U, which is a new, once again, age group for 8-man. So let's check out those highlights. Remember, don't forget to vote. Pick your favorite play.
Tremendous talent at the 11U level, especially for its first year and its inaugural year of 11U. In our next segment, we would like to show you all the winners of last week's contest. Plenty of votes. I think the biggest vote garnered about 350 votes. And it's great to see people going to the website. Continue to go to the website this week. Vote for your favorite play. And here are the winners from last week.
congratulations to those that won last week. And don't forget to email Todd to get your T-shirt. And now, the moment that you all been waiting for, which I know I can tell by the analytics, you guys trying to get to the end here as quick as possible. Your power rankings.
Here are the power rankings for this week. Not a lot of movement with so few games, but take a look at what we have for the power rankings at each level.
And there you have the power rankings on a short week. And like we said, not a lot of movement because there wasn't a lot of games. But I'm excited for this weekend, Todd. There are a lot of power ranking matchups. I know there's a 1 versus 3 at the field I'm going to. I can't wait to see it.
There certainly will be a lot of change come next week at this time. And speaking of which, if you see us at the fields walking around with our camera, come up and introduce yourself. We'd love to put you on camera and let you put you on the show, especially if you got some kind of story to tell us about your experience of spring football and working with your team. So until next week, have a great week of practice and a great week this weekend.
We'll see you on the gridiron.